Franchise conferences and group meetings. Many franchise companies will require franchisee attendance at conferences and/or group meetings. Such requirements will often be outlined in the franchise agreement and associated franchise manuals. It is important that you understand what is required because aside from the great potential benefits, there is a time and cost element involved. The purpose and structure of conferences and group meetings vary. Franchise conferences. Most franchise systems will organise a national franchise conference attended by franchisees, including partners, and key franchise support office staff. Sometimes company unit managers and other franchisee staff may also be invited and/or required to attend. Franchise conferences are normally an annual affair, but this can vary. Some companies may have no conferences at all, while others may have 2 or more in a single year. Conferences are a valuable networking experience for both franchisees and franchisor personnel and provide the opportunity to review network performance, motivate, build a common identity, share ideas, group developments and successes. Franchisees may also be asked to communicate ideas and sometimes make a presentation so that the conference is a relevant experience. Conferences can vary widely but may include presentations and guest speakers, best practice sessions, the franchisor sharing the company vision, information on industry trends and changing technology, the introduction of system enhancements and improvements, franchise awards, and social relationship building and networking opportunities. Group meetings. Many franchise systems will also organise regular group or regional meetings. These may be conducted instead of or in addition to an annual conference. The regularity, purpose, format, location and duration of group meetings can vary from franchise to franchise and what is happening or needed within a particular franchise system and at a particular point in time. Who pays? The franchise agreement and associated franchise manual will often mention who pays for what, but typically franchisees will be expected to take the time to attend and contribute to all conferences and relevant group meetings. It is also common for franchisees to be expected to pay for associated travel and subsistence costs, as well as a contribution towards the conference or meeting. However, it is important to note that the specifics on who pays for what do vary from franchise to franchise and sometimes change over time, hence the need to ask and clarify. Franchise advisory councils. Many large franchise systems will have a franchise advisory council, or FAC, and many emerging franchise systems have provided for the possibility of introducing a franchise advisory council in the future. A franchise advisory council is a special committee made up of franchisor executives and a representative subset of franchisees. Advisory councils meet regularly in person, by phone or by other format to discuss the franchise-related issues set out in the Franchise Advisory Council's purpose. Franchise advisory councils typically do not have the authority to make decisions that result in changes to the franchise system, such as the franchise agreement and franchise manual. But instead, advisory councils make non-binding recommendations relating to the franchise system. Managed well, an advisory council can be great for franchisees and the franchisor because among many of the advantages, it can help develop mutual trust and respect between franchisor and franchisees, improve franchisor and franchisee communication, advance the interests of both franchisor and franchisees in a well-structured forum, generate new ideas, improve franchisee system decision-making, and facilitate needed system-wide changes. Franchise advisory councils can vary enormously in structure and operation, and some have very simple rules, but others may have a formal constitution that spans several pages. Examples of useful questions to ask about franchise advisory councils include: how often does the advisory council meet and what is the duration of meetings? Where are meetings held? How many franchisor and franchisee representatives are there? Who can become a franchisee member? What is the Franchise Advisory Council purpose? What does a typical agenda cover? And what, if any, topics are off limits? What costs are involved and who pays? And how effective is the Franchise Advisory Council for advancing both franchisor and franchisee interests?